All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you guys are doing well today. Oil is gapping up a little bit. Let's get some music going. What's up, Dan? Yeah, I'm a little bit late today. It's all right. It's a slower day. Yeah. Can y'all hear the music? Let me see. There we go. Look at Disney real quick. Yeah, man. Disney's doing great, bro. I told you, Raphael, man. You know, it really is just a waiting game, bro. Like, listen, the stock market is one of those things that it's gonna play with your emotions, brother. Like, I've seen it enough. Like, I've played with the market enough to understand how it goes. What happens, this is what happens to almost everybody, right? What happens to almost everybody in the stock market is they buy something, they buy a blue chip stock, right? And you're never going to time your entry perfectly. And that blue chip stock starts to dip down, it starts to fall, and that causes you to, second guess yourself. You're like, hey, should I have bought this stock or not? Um, and then sometimes what happens is that people get scared and they cut the trade. And then right after they cut the trade, the stock just starts to fly back up. Right. It really is a wave. So you gotta ride through the waves of the stock market. It's just kind of how it goes. And so Disney is no exception. Again, Disney all the way up to 91.30s. Um, yeah, it's kind of how it goes. I never said you missed the dip, bro. Come on now, dude. Now you're making stuff up, man. Come on, dude. I think I told you last time. Last time you came here and you were all nervous, saying that Disney destroyed your portfolio or whatever it was you said. And then I told you that it's going to go back up. It just might take a little while. I'm pretty sure is what I said. And now Disney is back up. Come on now, bro. Yeah, you just got to sit. You got to not get scared out of the dips. Tesla up huge right now. Tesla up to 216s. Yeah, at least market volatility is here. You see Tesla's up big. The dollar index has been breaking down. Here's the SPY. So the SPY is mostly flat today, but it's just had a huge day Friday, which is great. Tesla looking really solid. No, I don't want to delete that. Let me see. I want to add this. There we go. All right, so yeah, SPY is mostly flat. Good morning, John. And all Tesla Model Y qualifies for 7,500 tax credit. It's going to run. Yeah, I see Tesla up there. Yeah, I mean, Raphael, man, I don't remember any moment where I told you Disney was too late. The only moment I remember from you here is I remember you talking about how you had bought Disney much higher than where it is now. Like you were talking about how you bought it at like the low 90s, and that it was turning against you, and that you were, frustrated about it, and or whatever it was. And then all I remember telling you was like, hey, it's one of those stocks that you just got to kind of let it work. I don't know what it's going to do in the next couple months, but I'm sure in the next few years, Disney's going to be well over where it is now. Um, I remember saying that, uh, because that's what I say, and that's what I always say about Disney, and that's the whole strategy I ever get involved with. I always tell people like, I don't know if I'm going to be right in the first few weeks. I know I can hold on to these and let them work long term, and Disney's going to be higher than where it was in 2 years. And so I think that's the mindset you have to look at it so you don't get kind of faked out. That's the last thing I remember telling you though, Raphael. I don't know if you're getting me mixed up with somebody else. The good thing about it is that we live stream it. And so if I did say it, it should be on stream sometime. But I really don't remember saying that. Anyways, yeah, AI still doing really good. What's up, Adam? AI still capitulating. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about AI stock. Like AI pulling back a little bit. I think you can watch $30 for it, but I really don't know what this one's gonna do. Yeah, market's been moving up a lot the last few days, though. SPY all the way up to 420s, green on the day. Yesterday was a really big green day too. I ended up taking a lot of profit off of the trade yesterday, though, or Friday, I should say. Um, and then you can see Tesla still popping up to 216s. Yeah, all good. What's up, Snow? What's up, man? Uh, yeah, SPY at 428s right now. We'll see if it holds. Again, I'm waiting for it. Uh, all right, guys. Boyle moving up. Hopefully, you bought some and held. Yeah, I mean, I'm up a lot on. If you guys remember last week, right? Last week I ended up. Last week I ended up buying Walmart, Walgreens, Coca Cola, J.P. Morgan, PayPal. I was in Disney. I never sold. Or I didn't ever liquidate the full position at least, and then I'm still in gold. Gold I'm down on, but that's all right. I kind of expected that. Gold is just kind of a hedge trade. So yeah, but I ended up cutting most of this because I was just so green and I can't, you know. Um, there we go. So yeah, oil is what's kind of leading the market today. Saudi oil cut news is making oil stocks gap up. So you could look at like Exxon Mobil, you can look at like CL/CL, see all of it's gapping up today. So oil is up a lot right now. Apple, see, these are all up a little bit too much for me at this point. Like I'm looking for pullbacks. I'm not saying they're not going to keep running, but it depends, you know. What's up, Ricky? So I got 100 shares of Tesla at 211, and I got 27,000 buying power sitting to the side. So I'm planning to watch Tesla. Yeah. Yeah, it depends on what kind of big move you're waiting for. Gia says happy Russell and Dow healthy rotation. There are still opportunities out there. I think those who believe in a big dump have to wait more. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It depends. I know like at these current levels, I'm not buying more blue chips. Like I caught the last move up, the last green bounce, and I told a lot of people what I was doing. Again, so much of the market is just kind of timing pullbacks and dips. That I got the dips that I wanted. We caught the pullbacks that we wanted, and now I'm just kind of sitting back in this, like waiting. All right, guys. Yeah, so I'm kind of working on a mock-up right now of some stuff. All right, so again, the Q is down. Tesla is really what's dragging the market up. I'm looking up stock market news today. Um, so energy stocks are doing the best. They're up about 1%. According to UBS, Paul Donovan said any price increase transfers money from buyers sellers, so the global growth impact is more redistributive than negative. The impact on developed economy consumers depend on changes in oil demand and whether oil factors influence prices. UK auto fuel prices fell recently after the completion authority became interested in retailer profits. The 10-year treasury yield rose 4 basis points to 3.74%. The 2-year yield rose 4 basis points to 4.54%. The Fed is entering its blackout period ahead of next week's FOMC. He said, quote, at the moment, market prices at around a 1 in 3 chance of a Fed rate hike next week and maybe 3. Oh, wait, let's see what the Fed watch tool shows here. So, wow. So it looks like a large majority of people are expecting no rate hike. Yeah, so that's right about 1 in 3. Let's post this to Twitter. All right, so you can see the market rate hike odds are about 80 to 20. So about a 1 in 5 chance. We're going to raise rates, about a 4 in 5 chance that we are going to pause or skip, as they're calling it. What did I just click? I don't want that. But yeah, about a 4 and 5 chance we're going to what's called skip here. And so all right, so we just posted that graph on Twitter. Make sure to give me a follow on Twitter if you want more information like that. Again, Tesla's really reeling the market back up. If we look at why Tesla's up like it is here today, it's going to be kind of a busy week for me outside of the channel here. So Tesla recalls some of the Model Y EVs. So Tesla has issued a voluntary safety recall of certain Model Y EVs due to the risk of loss of steering control. The Texas EV maker said the recall has affected 137 Model Y vehicles from 22 to 23 years. He said, quote, a loose fastener may allow the steering wheel to disconnect from the steering column, which can cause a loss of steering control and increase the risk of a crash. So China Car Passenger Association reported on Monday Tesla delivered 77,695 China-made EVs in May, up 2.4% versus April. And so that's pretty good for them too. Is there no music? Oh, my bad, guys. Let me fix this. There should be music. You should be able to hear it. So let me see. Sorry, I'm a little bit sunburned, dude. Did y'all see that, man? I'm kind of sunburned. I'm just now looking at that. Ugh, I've been swimming. It's definitely pool season. I guess I am kind of red here. Look at me, man. I'm sunburned, dude. It's all right, I guess. Definitely top 3 most sunburnt traders in the world right now. So you can trade Gush, UCO. They're going to unload tech on the skip news. It's way extended. I mean, CHRD looks pretty good. I don't know enough about this individual company. It looks like it's oil or energy related. The yearly chart looks pretty good. I mean, it started the year off at 93.30s for CHRD at 93.30s. Looking at a longer term chart. Oh wait, what happened to this? What happened? Oh, I guess this is 2010. Yeah, I mean, this one, it's been mostly sideways, but what I'm confused about is how did this one all of a sudden mid last year go from, did it get relisted? It went from 107. So it hasn't had a bad run though. This thing's gone from about 107s to 150 in about, a year and a half or so, a little bit under a year and a half. It's at 150 now. Again, I don't really know anything about this specific company, but yeah, the dollar index strengthening. I mean, the dollar's up a lot. And this is something like I talked to my wife about this too. Like to understand what's really going on in the dollar here. So the dollar has basically gone up a lot prior. Like if we put a weekly chart up, you'll see the real trend here. So here's here's the dollar since the last 10 years. So here's the last decade of dollar. So people will say, "Oh, the dollar's crashing," and it's like, no, not really. And this is something I had to tell Carol about too. It's like, look, for the past freaking 10 years, the dollar has been moving up for the most part. The past 10 years, the dollar's been moving up, and the market has not wanted the dollar to go up. At least up until the past year or so. Inflation problems has caused a lot of people to fear the dollar index going up and the dollar gaining value because that's not always a good thing with inflation going crazy and getting out there. The dollar rising is not necessarily seen as a good thing, and it rised all the way up until September of last year, and this is like within all the inflation problems we had. The dollar index started to really rise last year, steady pushed up against a lot of people's wishes. A lot of people didn't want the dollar to move up because, again, inflation problems were so bad. Now, over the last like 6 to 8 months, inflation has been getting consistently better, and that's just the reality of it from the data that they're putting out is that inflation has been getting better for the last 6 to 8 months. As that's happened, the market's gone up too. The SPY has moved up with us. So if you look at when the market started to really run, the market's been running since September of last year, and that is basically, if you want to see when this fall in the dollar index started, the fall started basically at the same time, right when this latest run of stock market activity started. And so you got to understand, like, everybody sensationalizes stuff. And this is the reality to understand is that, when the market is falling like it was prior to this, they say, oh, well, the market's crashing. What are we going to do? The market's crashing. What are we going to do when this happens right here in the middle? They say, oh, the market's crashing as the dollar index moves up. Then when that switches, right? When that switches and it starts to do the opposite, where if you zoom out now, the market's been rising for the last 6 to 8 months. Then when that happens, they'll say, oh, well, the dollar's crashing. And it's like, well, yeah, the dollar moves inversely to the market. Like most of the time, the dollar is going to do the opposite of what the market does. And so they're just sensationalizing both sides. If the dollar index is going up and the market's going down because they move inversely to each other a lot of the time, they'll say, oh, the market's crashing, the market's falling. If the dollar index is moving down and the market's moving up, what do they say now? They say, oh, the dollar is crashing. And it's like, not really. We kind of want the dollar to go down right now. The dollar has been ripping up huge amounts all the way up until like October of last year. And it's moving up too much to a point where inflation problems are causing people to worry. So the dollar dropping right now is actually a good thing, But the point is, they're going to act like everything's the end of the world because it sensationalizes it. And it really isn't. You can look at it and tell, like, it's just not how it's just not how it goes. And now the dollar index has been going down for the most part because the market has been flying up. And today, the dollar index is up. And it's not really moving super. It's not an exact movement, but I guess the point is like the dollar going down, it's not bad. Yeah, for sure, Polo. I mean, like I said, dude, some of the most consistent things I ever say on this channel, some of the most consistent things I ever say on this channel are that the market is usually going to go up long term, that you got to start to tune out the doom and gloom crowd, because you really do. It really is something that you got to just learn to you just got to learn to tune out. Tesla's still moving up. Dollar index still moving up. Hey, what's up, Pawn? Let me pull my Discord up. So we got 200 people here. Like I said, I started a little bit later today. It's all good. Today we have non-manufacturing and services PMI. So we do have PMI data coming out. It's a busy time for me, though. It really is. Yeah, the market's definitely been pretty contrarian, despite everything else. All right, what else is moving? Any other big news that we're not covering today? Let me look at the SPY, see what we got. All right, so Morgan Stanley expects a 16% drop in S&P 500 earnings. All right, guys, Tesla at 216s right now. SPY back over the previous closing price. The dollar index is dropping down a little bit now. Look at that Microsoft. A lot of stuff's just up big over the last week or so. We'll see if it continues, but do you think Microsoft and Apple will hit new highs in June? I think it's possible. But it's definitely not a for sure thing. I mean, it's possible, but we'll see. All right, guys. So again, Tesla up there to 216s, dollar index at 104s. Thoughts on Tesla price by July 19th earnings? I don't know, man. We still got like a month and a half before that happens, brother. Does Tesla hit 220 or 230? I think it could. I mean, it's all probabilities here. I mean, I think it's possible, but it's never a for sure thing. Like, we don't really know what it's going to do here. All we can do is look at microchip stocks. How's NVIDIA doing? So NVIDIA dipping down heavy today. Disney's still moving up some. That's nice. NVIDIA finally pulling back a little bit. We're still holding our SOXS position, which is nice. It's doing well on this. All right, guys, look at the SPY up there too. SPY moving. All right, guys, and again, I might buy some dips, but we need some dips. What do you guys think? Well, sorry, Pawn, sending you a message. All right, so pulling back on the SPY here. Look at Tesla, man. Tesla ripping up. They did do a recall. NVIDIA bouncing up a little bit. It's back up to 389s. This morning, it's essentially pulling back from 393s, under 400 now. All right, guys. Tesla up to 216s, 216s. Man, Tesla up to 217s now. Dip buy. I don't know if there's anything dipping enough for me to buy it. Y'all have anything that's pulling back enough that looks good to buy? If you have something, let me know. Again, oil is doing well today. You can see like Exxon Mobil, Chevron. They're all up pretty big. You guys know me. When I buy stuff, I need pullbacks. I just don't have anything pulling back. Again, we bought Walmart, Walgreens, PayPal, Coca-Cola, JP Morgan last week, and we're up a lot in almost all of them. AMD's not dipping, though. AMD's up big, you know. It might be pulling back short term over the last, like, 5 days, but that thing made a run of way, again, for me, it's just too extended. I'm not saying it's not even going to run, but look at AI. AI has been running basically since the beginning of April, or since the beginning of May. Since the beginning of May, AMD has run up from $80 all the way to 130s. It's pulling back now, but it's still up a lot over the last, like, 2 months or so. Just up a little bit too much for me. Snap? Yeah, maybe Snap. No, Snap's still kind of up there, to be honest. Snap is still, like, if you look at a daily chart on Snap, Snap is up same way. It's been moving up since like early May 5th, all the way. It was at $8 on May 5th. It's currently at $10.50 or so. It's just up a little bit too much. Yeah, Disney's still ramping up good, you know. Yeah, Snap's all right, but again, I like Snap, but it's just down a little bit too much. It's still up a little bit too much here. I need pullbacks. So let me look at AI. All right, guys. SPY up to 428. AT&T. Yeah, but what's AT&T at right now? AT&T is down a lot. What's their EPS graph look like? Let me check out. Let me check out what their profitability has looked like recently. So here's AT&T, and AT&T pays out a dividend too, which is going to influence the price. But look at the markets going up some. So yeah, so all right, so here's AT&T. Yeah, they've had a rough quarterly earnings report. They lost $3.14 a share, which is the biggest loss they've had in a long time. Their last one was 57. So the last EPS wasn't bad, but who the heck is sending me messages now? Who is up? Oh, it's Carol. SoFi, yeah, I mean, SoFi is one of the AI plays going crazy here. Here's SoFi, SOFI. So look at SoFi. SoFi since mid-May Netflix is down today. Yeah, AT&T is one of the arguable. The only problem with AT&T is this, right? And I'll tell you guys my genuine worry about AT&T is like my genuine worry about AT&T is this. Okay, so like, all right, I can understand the sentiment in the business model changing in phones, in internet, in cable, right? Those three things are fundamentally changing. All right, now explain why. So phones, cable, and internet are fundamentally changing, right? For a few different reasons. Number one, no contract based phone and internet services are becoming much more common. I have fiber optic. I pay $90 a month flat, 1,000 up, 1,000 down speeds, $90 a month, no contract. My phone carrier now, I pay basically the same thing, no contract, right? So even if it's AT&T offering it, it's still going to be worse margins for them because there's no contract, right? And with cable, streaming services are taking over. You got Hulu TV, YouTube TV, all these different options where you don't need to go with DirecTV, you don't need to go with Comcast, you don't need to go with AT&T. You can just get them much cheaper, no contract based, flat fee every single month, and it's just way cheaper than it would be. I think all of that's bad moving forward for Comcast, for AT&T, for all these big companies that deal with internet and phone and cable. I think it's bad for them. I think their margins are going to go down over time and the stock prices might drop. But what do I know? Not an investment professional. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. But yeah. All right, guys, look at Tesla rip. SPY pulling back. SoFi pulling back. All right, guys. And so I don't know. That's my only risk of buying AT&T. All right, sorry, I had to deal with that real quick. But yeah, again, let me know what you guys think. What about 5G? Uh, what about it? That's the only problem with investing in AT&T. You think Nike will run this week? Oof, I don't know. My problem right now is it's hard for me to find something to buy. You know, like what do I buy at this point in time? You know, like I'm usually looking for pullbacks. I don't really see anything. I mean, I guess I could buy AI stuff. I could buy chips, Nvidia, AMD. I could buy what? Palantir. They're all kind of dipping this morning, but it would need to be a short-term dip buy. It's certainly not going to be a lot of shares with a lot of these because these are. I mean, these have pulled back though, and they could make another run, but the price is like the big risk is obvious. Life sucks. Who cares about money and cars when you're still lonely? Sorry to hear that, B10, man. All right, guys. So again, SoFi trying Palantir. So maybe we got like a short-term dip buy argument for Nvidia, some other stuff. But again, I'm gonna wait a little bit here. I think. All right, guys. Market's still moving up a little bit, but yeah, Disney up to 91.30s here. 91.30s. Sell it all. Dumping coming. I don't have a car. Don't have a lot of money. Just a little bit, and I'm lonely. Still doing fine. It's because, in my opinion, because I go to the gym every day. Yeah, the gym's important, man. I go to the gym. It's important. Verizon big dividend in 2 days. Was saying your risk analysis was fair. Was saying 5G has some potential. Was all all good sports. That's what I was gonna. I was just wondering what about 5G. Stocks till tomorrow. Hey, what's up, Tony? Tesla 5 to 6% today. Yeah, for sure. Nvidia coming back up. Yeah, I see it. It's up to 390. I was thinking about buying a short-term dip, but I changed my mind. Who? Oh, you must be him, sports poker guy. Yeah, you got to find something you're passionate about, man. It really is something that's important, dude. Like, you got to find something you're passionate about. Like, for me, it's business, Like, I like building businesses and stuff, Like, I usually have another business I'm building, and it works out because it gives me something to, like, put my energy into. It's something I can obsess over and put my energy into. That is really useful. Because, I think, like, with people like me, like, I have ADHD, and so you kind of, like, people like me, they kind of go with where the dopamine sends them. And so I'll kind of get obsessed over certain things, and I'll have new hobbies, and I'll have all these random hobbies. Sometimes I'll complete them, but beginner trading started at that. Like, beginner trading, the YouTube channel started it as a hobby. It was something that I was just kind of a small project, and then it kind of grew from there. And now I'm working on some other stuff in the back end too. But for me, what keeps me busy, what keeps me out of depression, is finding stuff to do, finding hobbies, finding passions. You got to be interested in stuff. You know what I mean? Gambling, not really it. I'm not a huge gambler. If I was, I would have started trading much bigger size than I am now. I get criticized about the size I take in my trades all the time. You know what I mean? So, like, if I was a big gambler, I'd probably eventually scale up my size eventually, People get mad. They say I trade too small. I'm just not big of a gambler. I'm really not, man. I'm just not a huge gambler. But it's all good. But yeah. Oh, I don't know. Nvidia coming back up. Yeah, I mean, it's starting to again. I'll buy it if it pulls back to 388s. I'll buy it if it pulls back to 388s, but we'll see. I gotta wait for that. All right, guys, up to 428s. Nvidia, why do you have to trade one way or another? You just have to maintain your channel and community. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's kind of how it goes, though, man. Yeah, I don't understand like I said, I really don't understand being. I talked to Carol about it over the weekend. This is a real conversation we had, but like, I don't understand. Like, I watched that movie Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler. right? Like I watched the movie Uncut Gems, and the movie Uncut Gems is about like a gambling addict, right? It's about somebody who's like pawning everything, and they're like doing all this different stuff, and they're just kind of addicted to gambling, right? To their downfall. You know what I mean? I couldn't imagine, like, okay, here's the reality of it, right? Here's the truth, okay? And this is just the straight up truth. If you're betting on sports and your platform is letting you continue betting, it's because you're a losing player. It's because you are losing money. You know, if you were good enough at betting sports, you would get banned from that platform. That platform would send you a letter saying, hey, we don't want your action anymore. Like, we don't want you to keep betting on our platform. You are now effectively banned from betting more than $5 a bet, is what they'll tell you, right? So if you're actually good at sports betting, you'll get kicked off the platform you're using. And so if you're allowed to continue betting sports on the platform, it's because you suck at betting sports. It's because you're not winning money. And so being addicted to losing money, I never understood that. Like, I don't care what kind of rush it gives me. I don't care about any of that stuff. I'm not addicted to losing money, you know? Like, I'd like to make money. And so it's just kind of like, if you're losing money, or if you're you know, if DraftKings or whatever sports betting thing is allowing you to keep betting on there, it's because you lose. You know, it's because you're a losing player. You know, don't get it twisted. And the other thing is, like, everything else, like even blackjack, right? If you're a good blackjack player, if you're a winning blackjack player, the casino will kick you out. They'll say, hey, you're too good. We don't want your action. And so basically, if they're allowing you to keep playing the game, you're playing out, with the exception of poker, because poker is not really gambling. It depends on how you define it, but yeah, with that exception. Casino will kick you out, though. All right, let me suck at betting sports. All right, guys. Look at SoFi trying to make moves. Disney all the way up to 91.20. Yeah, it was a good movie for sure. Yeah, and I mean with trading, it's kind of, but what the funny part is that if you look at sports gambling, um, if you look at sports gambling, you got all these gurus acting like they're just the greatest ever. You know, you got all these gurus acting like they're just the greatest ever. And you know, if they're full of crap, because if they were really that good, they wouldn't be allowed to, you know, take some of those positions. Yeah, Dana White got kicked out of blackjack. What's crazy though about Dana White, and what I don't understand, is that Dana White says he's not counting cards, right? Which is the only statistical edge you'll ever have in blackjack. Dana White says he's not counting cards, but he says he's a winning player and that he's won millions and millions of dollars, where he's gotten banned from the Sands, you know? And so, but he says he's not counting cards. He says he has his own variation of like BJ rules, to where he's just playing standard, you know, blackjack. I don't understand what he's doing, but how he's making that money, but apparently he is. Yeah, oil up a lot today after Saudi cut news. SPY pull it back to 428. Part of me wants to buy this dip. We'll see if we can. But yeah, at any house game, if you're good enough, you'll get kicked out. Today, the data comes out at 9:45 and 10 a.m. Yeah, for sure. Poker. And again, I'm a big poker player. I love poker. But yeah, that's kind of how it goes. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying Dana can't count cards, and I know how to count cards too, right? I believe he can, but the question is he? You know, like my guess is if he got kicked out of the casino for winning so much, he's probably counting. And counting is very easy to tell. Like people say, oh, well, how will they ever know you're counting cards? The reason they'll know is because they'll look at the variations, I should say, in bet sizing. Right. So if you look at the variations in bet size, is what it'll be. So you can look at the variations in bet size. So like if you're betting $5, $5, $5, and then when the count gets high, you're all of a sudden betting 20, 30, 40, 50, or 100, or you can, if you're betting $50, 55, $50, $50, and then when the count gets high, you're betting 2,000 or whatever. Just as an exaggerated example, then they know you're counting. And then you go back down to 50 or whatever. Then that's how they'll catch you, is they'll look at the variation in bet sizing. And then that's when they know, and unfortunately. Yeah. Yeah, they could kick anybody off. All right, guys. Yeah, so Disney's up nicely today. Again, NVIDIA pulling back a little bit. I might buy a little bit of this NVIDIA dip. I don't know. The problem is it needs to be like a small size. Small trade here. All right. We'll see if we run. Again, Disney testing highs still. That's nice. Apple. Yeah, I mean, Apple's up big today. Apple up to 182s here, man. So Apple's one of the stronger charts. Again, Tesla up pretty big too. Here's Apple. Yeah, Apple's up a lot. All right, guys. Tesla at 217s. Again, the SPY at 428s. Best top 3 counter in the world. Yeah, definitely top 3. A higher oil price. Yeah, I mean, listen, people have been saying the market was going to crash for months, man. Over time, it's kind of proved that the market, again, I think the way you have to understand the market is like you have to, people have been telling people the market's going to crash. There's this constant state of like people putting doom and gloom, out there. The reality of it is, though, you have to really look at the market. Like people were acting like that way down here. So like people were acting like the market was just going to crash way down here. And then since then, obviously, the market has just kind of been on a huge tear up. And again, you got to zoom out to understand like what's really going on here. Again, if you really zoom out, you'll see like we're still down since 2021. And so it's not like the market's just breaking highs. Like the market's still down. And I told people this, like one of the things that I told people throughout this whole like, run, when people were saying doom and gloom down here, so when people were acting like the world was just going to end down here, I was telling people that like we were already extended on this pullback and the market's not going to just drop forever. If you guys remember me saying this, I told people like the market's not just going to drop forever. You have a lot of, honestly, to be fair, much larger YouTubers than me telling people the market was going to crash and they got to liquidate it and they need to sell now and the market's going to crash and all this stuff. And it's like their followers just kind of justify it and they say, oh, well, they would have been right, but the market's not acting right or whatever they want to say. But like over the long run, you kind of see the market's just been a little extended on the downside. Like the biggest edge in the S&P is that long term, if you really zoom out, long term, the S&P 500 is going to go up. So like you can kind of see we'll get little slivers of drops like this. We get little slivers of drops like this. Sometimes you get big drops like this. But either way, the market always comes back over time. And so it's just kind of something that we're watching the market kind of come back live right now. And again, whether it continues, we'll have to wait and see. But so far, this is, we have been bouncing back the last 6 months. Anything could happen, though. Anything could happen. We could hit a recession. We might not. But either way, you don't want to just act like the easiest way to put it is that nobody knows what the market's going to do. Right. So the people who are claiming to know exactly what the market has to do, where the market needs to do this and the market needs to do that, again, who knows? But in the end, you always have to put yourself in a constant state of the unknown with the market. If the more you act like you know for sure what's going to happen, the least you probably do. So yeah, we'll see if the market bounces back. Now, anything could essentially happen here, but there is a chance that we start pushing towards highs. We've contracted the last couple of years. The markets are not going to drop forever. We'll see if we hit the recession the Fed said is possible this year or not, but it's looking less and less likely. I think one thing that the Fed should consider, though, is that I think raising rates will probably be a good thing here. Well, yeah, card counting doesn't give you the biggest edge. It gives you like a 3% edge, which is not the biggest. Like a 3% edge is not like the biggest edge you could ever get. And so, yeah, variance is going to play a factor there. And so it depends on what your bankroll size is. But like with counting, it really is something that like the larger bankroll you start off with, the better your chances. So it's like over time, you might go like this, but like theoretically, your graph should look like that. So like a lot of people, they do it, they get out right here, or they get out right here, and they say, oh, well, this is rigged, but you got to ride the waves. We bought a little bit of NVIDIA down here. It's not a huge position though, but it's small. Disney's doing really nice. Yeah, a lot of the time they're using a bunch of decks now, though. But there's math to get around that. You still have a statistical edge. The hard part of counting is not like whether you get an edge. You can get an edge anytime you go. The hard part is being able to, like, the driving is the hard part for counting, right? So like if you really want to count cards, in order to actually do it, you're gonna understand, like, you're gonna get booted out of casinos. So it's like you could go to a casino with like a big bankroll, but like what's to say you don't play, you don't play for an hour, lose a bunch of money, and then get kicked out, and then you got to go to another one and play that, and and so the driving to casino is what really makes it difficult. It's still possible, and there's a lot of good documentaries and stuff like that about it. It's still possible, but it's work. You got to drive a lot. No, I'm not playing options. Not today, bro. Not today. Maybe next time, dude. I'm just not a big options player. Again, my account's large enough to where I don't need to play options. Yeah, so we are in NVIDIA, riding the bounce up a little bit here. SPY right there at 428. Part of me wants to buy this. Um, Look at Tesla moving up. Tesla at 217s. Hmm. All right, look at Tesla up to 218s, guys. Wow, man. Apple pull it back. Part of me wants to buy the dip a little bit here. I don't know about an Apple, but short term. But that's the only thing. Like I'm kind of interested in buying this dip. What do you think about the play will be for Apple? I don't know. Apple might be considered extended up here. I watched a documentary where a guy was counter. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a pretty good chip then. Yeah, for sure. Any dip buys today? I don't see any. Let me pull up Bing. All right. All right, so I'm asking Chat GPT, what are some stocks, what are some blue chips that are extended on the downside over the last 6 months? Yeah. Starting to get some pullback, so part of me wants to buy the dip. A lot of this is Tesla just making really strong moves. Yeah, Bard's pretty good. Yeah, I'm going to use Bard instead, actually. Chat GPT gave me the worst answer. Oh, wait, no, it did give me some. So it said TGT, BUD, Disney. Walmart, down 20% over the last 6 months. Target, Home Depot. See, Home Depot's not down that much, though. It is down some. I don't mind Home Depot's level here. Pepsi. I don't mind Home Depot. All right, guys. Tesla at 217. SPY pull it back even more here. We did buy NVIDIA here. But it looks like NVIDIA might not be working out. Again, I'm going to let it sit. If we break lows, I'll cut it. And it's not a huge loss. Bard. Yeah, banks. I don't know. I'm already in JP Morgan. The problem is banks have risen a lot over the last couple months. They are extended on the downside. I do think banks will. Okay. If you want to trade into the next Fed rate hike decision, right? Like here's one of the trades you can make. And again, I might be wrong here. I might be wildly wrong. This might just not work out at all. But I think this is an arguable trade idea that you can get involved with over the next couple months, or over the next couple weeks. I mean, so okay, right now the probabilities of a rate hike are very low. So right now the probabilities of a rate hike are very low. The market is looking at about a 1 in 5 chance of a rate hike next week. So 1 in 5 chance, 4 in 5 chance Oh, here, I gotta edit this. This is wrong. Oops. I gotta delete this. This is wrong. Anyways. All right, so anyways, there's a 4 out of 5 chance of a pause or skip, right? If that's the case, right? If there's a 4 and 5 chance of a pause or skip, then an argument that you could have for banks if that happens, again, an argument you could have is that banks are going to move up. If we pause, sorry, I'm multitasking right now. Okay, if we move up, or if we do a pause next week, there's an argument on that, like banks move up. Banks like that news because one of the things that have been hurting banks are essentially the rate hikes, is what they're blaming a lot of the weakness on with all this stuff failing. And so if a pause is good for banks, and the odds of a pause are very high, then there's an argument of like buying banks today, waiting for next week's rate hike decision, and see if banks are going to go up. Now, I think a lot of people are already getting baked into that potential decision, but it is a potential. To pay attention to. And again, let me know what you guys think. But that is an argument here. The next rate hike decision is next Wednesday. CPI is Tuesday. Wednesday is the rate hike decision. Some of this guy where their YouTube channel. Some of those guys where their YouTube channel is trying to scare. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it goes. Again, they got to understand they get more clicks by telling people the market's going to crash. Yeah, man. Tesla ripping up big. Again, I bought Tesla when it was at like 170s and people made fun of me. I bought it at like 180s. People made fun of me. And I told people the idea is that leading up into the next stuff that it might go up, and it definitely did. Tesla just got a lot of haters, I think. Yeah, but it might affect bank sentiment. That's the only thing that could affect. So if I could find an extended enough bank stock that's not regional, it can't be a regional bank at all. It needs to be like one of the big boys. But they're already up a lot, like Wells Fargo up a lot of was at 36, basically back early a month ago was at 36, now at 41s. Bank of America is a little bit better. It's got a smaller range though. JP Morgan is up a lot. I'm already in that one. Citigroup has been a little bit different. Citigroup's kind of flat. I don't know if enough about Citigroup though. Nvidia's starting to bounce back. Boyle's down a lot. It's gapping up a little bit today, but it's down a lot. Apple approaching all-time highs. Yeah, so the all-time highs on Apple are 181.78. Or no, I'm sorry, 183 is basically the all-time highs. 182.94 is the all-time highs for Apple. 182.94. So yeah, we're very close to all-time highs on Apple. So this is the all-time high right here. 183s. We're very close to it. Let's do a poll. I don't think I did a poll yet today. Does Apple break? Does Apple break all-time highs over the $183 level today? Vote on that poll, yes or no. It's possible. Sometimes highs have kind of like a magnet like momentum when it gets close to it. So we'll see if it holds up there or not. I think Render's a cool crypto. I don't All right, so SPY bounced it up. Apple's still up there. We'll see if it hits it today. It's a big level. Uh, Approaching it. All right, so again, Apple's still moving up. Again, we bought Nvidia. We're making our money back there. Apple's still back up to 182.60s. So Apple is about 30 cents away from breaking that level. About 30 cents. Yeah, render maybe. Yeah, market's starting to finally bounce back up. We've been bouncing off of that previous closing price a lot. So we've been bouncing back over that previous closing price a lot. We'll see if we actually hold, but it's interesting to pay attention to here. Again, Apple back up to 182.70. He's getting really close to breaking that level. Getting really, really close here, guys. So, Apple. All right, still moving up. Tesla at 218, still holding that level here too. All right, yeah. So Apple up to 182.70s. Again, it's pretty close. The all-time high is about 183. It might be like 182.90 something, but it's right around 183. I haven't heard that one, MP. The Apple headset costs around 3K. Yeah, it's not too excessive. I don't know. All right, guys. So we're trying to bounce up a little bit again. Apple up to 182.60s. Nvidia's starting to bounce back a little bit. We're watching asking Bard what are some extended stocks on the downside. All right, so I'm asking Bard what are some blue chip low PE companies that are extended on the downside over the last year. See what it says here. So I'm asking Bard what are some blue chip low PE companies that are extended on the downside of the last year. Last time it gave me HD, Home Depot. So it gave me Johnson & Johnson with a very low PE. It is down a lot. Johnson & Johnson might be an arguable dip buy. You know what? I'll take a little bit. I'll take a little bit of J&J here. It's down a lot. Procter & Gamble. See, I don't know enough about Procter & Gamble, though. P&G. Or PG. I don't know enough about this one. It is down a lot, though. Especially over the last couple of days. Walmart, Coca-Cola. So, yeah. I'll be right back, guys. Restroom break. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Yeah, so again, we bought a little bit of Johnson & Johnson. It's just down so much. The PE ratio is low too, and I think it pays a divvy. Yeah, PG. Yeah, I don't know enough about it. I usually try to stick with what I know for stocks. I just don't know enough about PG here. What is EPS? Wisdom tree. That's not extendo on the downside. That's gonna list more. MasterCard, Visa, low P. Not really the Visa. They're not really down enough for my taste here. Amex. Yeah, that's not really down enough. ABBV. What is ABV? I don't know what this is. What is ABBV? Pharmaceutical company. 6th largest biomedical companies in the world. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's down, but again, I'm not really trying to get in. There's more excluding biochip stocks. Let's get into the list more. So yeah, I don't really want biotech stocks. Biotech stocks I can't really trust like that, you know. Walgreens, AT&T, Verizon. I think those are risky. Coca-Cola's not bad. Might be able to add some more to my Coca-Cola trade. I'm already in Coca-Cola, though, is the problem, you know. UNH. It's just up. Yeah. Yeah, I probably do use PG and just not realize it. What does PG own? Okay, so yeah, they own Ariel, laundry products, Bounce, dryer sheets and fabric, Cheer, laundry products, Downy, Gain. Yeah, they do own a bunch of stuff. Olay, Gillette, Tide, Crest, Colgate. No, they don't own Colgate. Sorry, they're competitors. So yeah, they do own a bunch of brands I use. SPY dipped under the 200 EMA, under the volume weighted average price here, guys. So SPY just dipped. Yeah, the Amazon PE ratio is just a little bit too high up there, though, and isn't it? What's the PE ratio for Amazon right now? Let me ask Bard. All right, Amazon has a PE ratio of 295. That can't be right. No, that can't be right, man. Hold on, let me see. Bro, let me look this up, dude. 109, almost 300 PE ratio. It's right, dude. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I like Amazon, but I think that's a little bit high. You know, I think like people like Amazon because it's a bet on specifically, it's a bet on the future of Amazon, and Amazon is obviously going to be fine. It's such a groundbreaking stock. Like so many people use it for their everyday life, including myself, right? But the problem is with the PE being so high. No, Nightbot is a bot, man. It's a bot. It's literally a bot. It's a bot that I use to manage my channel. It's a moderator bot. Yeah, trust me, we need bots here. Hey, thank you, Jashman. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. What is it, man? Here, remember? Bam. No, because it's too early to play games, buddy. Because it's too early. It's 7 a.m. I said no. Dude, you're going to get to play games on the trip. Not right now. Ask your mom. Tell her I'm undecided. Ask your mom. Kids freaking tugging at my heartstrings trying to play games this early. Yeah, GameStop earnings on Thursday. What's up, Trader Mike? Hey, what's up, Jasmine? Yeah, Nightbot is just a helper to the chat. And honestly, we need it because, again, we've had some strange bot activity over the last month. Surprisingly, though, that stuff disappeared, you know? Like, I was just getting harassed by bots pushing one specific guest that only came on the stream twice, acting like he was some long-term member of the channel. Just kind of really weird activity there. And then we basically, we're not going to have any guests on the show, no. And then once they realized that, I think they stopped. But I think they had their own agenda. It's unfortunate that people think that they can manipulate me in that way. But, you know, I guess it is what it is, man. You know, I used to have this one friend. And this one friend thought that he was just so smart. He thought that he was just like the smartest dude in the world. And so it got to a point. Where he would do these things that were obviously like basically he would try to take advantage of his friends, like us, like we were his friends, right? But he would do these things. He's like, hey man, why don't you sell me this thing? And, you know, why don't you give me a deal on it? He's like, why don't you sell it to me for $50, you know? And like, he was doing well. He was doing better than a lot of us, but he would treat us like we were dumb, to the point where it was like a really obvious thing. It's kind of like, no, we're not selling you that. The thing's worth $500. We're not selling it to you for $50. Like, he would just treat us like we were stupid. And it got to the point where like we all kind of had to take a step back. I think sometimes people think certain things are good ideas and they turn out to just be terrible ideas, you know? And so I'm sure whoever was sending me these bots had the intention of like maybe making themselves look more valuable on the stream, maybe, you know, for whatever it was, right? But the only reaction they're going to get from me is like, okay, well, nobody's ever about to come on this show for a while. Amazon did not have a PE a few weeks ago. Well, yeah, that's because it was negative, I think, right? Either way, my son used to wake up at 6 wanting to play video games when he was 10 to 12. Yeah, that's my son's age. They just freaking love video games, man. I got to restrict them, though. Like, I'm like my son. I have ADHD, where it's like I'm going to, like, a lot of the time I'll play video games in the morning. And so I'm kind of a hypocrite when it comes to that. But I'm his dad, so I make the rules. But, yeah, good day to the bots. Yeah, for sure. But no, I don't ever get to play video games, right? There's 2 days of the week where I actually get to play video games. It's Saturday and Sunday morning, but it's like 6 a.m. So I'll get up at like 6 a.m. and I'll play video games when the whole house is asleep so that I don't get bugs, so that Carol doesn't want to use the TV in our room or whatever it is, right? That's the only time I really get to play. And I'll play for a couple hours on the weekend, and then that's it. I basically don't play during the week. But my son's exactly like me, so he'll try to do the same thing. Anyways, Tesla moving up. Apple up there. Will Apple break the lifetime highs? Apple is very close. So the previous lifetime high up here is right around 183. We are at 182.75. So we are 25 cents away from Apple breaking the lifetime all-time high here, which is a big level. This is a big, important level. And I'm not trying to claim to be the greatest, smartest guy in the world, you know? Like, I'm not. But, man, you get some friends that you just look back on them and you're like, man, these dudes probably are narcissistic, you know? Well, it's not really ADD. I don't think ADD exists. I think it's all ADHD. It's hyperactive. I think a lot of the stuff we consume nowadays hurts our attention span for sure. But I think it's a hyperactive disorder more than anything, than an attention thing. I think it's a hyperactive disorder. Calls for Apple too, man. I'm so hype, Egg. Nice, man. Congrats. Definitely top 3. Good morning, John. Hope you all had a great weekend. You too, Mr. Bot here. Thanks, man. What's up, economy? Yeah, I'm definitely a multitasker to the point where it's bad for the stream half the time because like I'll kind of get all quiet all of a sudden, you know. I'll get all quiet all of a sudden and I'll just kind of forget. So Apple hit up there at 182.80. Sometimes I forget I got 400 something people watching me. Hey, thank you, Bernardo. Yes, sir. Yeah, I think a lot of these short form contents are. Yeah, a lot of people have ADHD. Well, I think over time you realize that like ADD doesn't exist. What it is though is ADHD, and it's all universal. Like they used to think that you had 2 different types, like ADD and ADHD. Over time, they realized that it's really just one type, which is called ADHD. It's hyperactivity. I don't know. I know my son got diagnosed with he had what's called ADHD combined presentation, and the characteristics of that were he had a high IQ. So he did an IQ test and it was high, and then bad attention, hyperactivity, and bad impulse control is what he got. And you might say, oh well, there's no such thing as that. You're just letting them play games. We don't let them play games very much at all. Like we don't let them play games during the school year. We never let them play a game. Like we might give him an hour of video games every few weeks if he behaves, but we don't really let him play games much during the week, during school. Most of the time we don't let him play games at all. And I'm a big video game player, but like for him, he needs his attention span. He needs to be able to focus and like have a stable dopamine system, I guess. And so, but yeah, I don't know. All right, guys. Apple at 182s. Yeah, we'll see if it holds. SPY basically consolidating, very flat right now. We did buy a little bit of stuff. I think I bought Johnson and Johnson. So we bought some Johnson and Johnson. We also bought a little bit of Nvidia on these pullbacks. And we're kind of flat on both of these, but I want to give them time. Yeah, I haven't played the new Zelda yet. Yeah, I don't know, man. I have the same thing, sports poker. And I'm not a huge gambler. Like I said, I've gone to the casino a couple times. The last time I went to a casino, and I've told this story before, but I went there. I sat down at limit poker. It was like limit poker, limit hold'em. And I got really lucky, bro. I got like quad aces. I got like a full house, flopped full house. I made like $200 or $300 very quickly. And then I wanted to leave. Like I was like, all right, let's go. I'm not one of those people who just are addicted to the rush of gambling where I just got to keep on putting my money. Again, I couldn't imagine being addicted to losing money. But Carol wanted to play Baccarat, and so like it was kind of a date, and so I let her play, and we ended up losing what we had. But if it was up to me, we would have just left. But with the wife, wife never goes. She's definitely not a gambler either. So I mean, let her have her fun. She started playing Baccarat, and I have no idea how to play Baccarat. But the point is, like right now in buying power, I probably got 200,000 in buying power currently on this account. I use less than 20% of it. I don't even get anywhere close to it. I just don't like risking money like that. I think I like making money. I don't want to lose money. And if it's something that my odds are consistently low, I just don't do it. Apple pulling back a little bit down to the volume weighted average price. Tesla at 217s. How do you trade pre-market? You use a EXT order and limit orders. Yeah, for sure. Well, that's what we're trying to get them in sports too. We just got to give them something to do. Like my son's interested in he likes doing animations, like animations on his computer, and so he'll build different animations and like let them play. He wants to learn how to program, but I think he has a very what's the word? I don't know if he looks at programming. He wants to learn to program, but I don't know if he necessarily understands how difficult it is. Like he was learning like Scratch and a couple other things, but I want to start. I want to get him started at it when he's young because your brains are more resilient and you can soak up more knowledge when you're young. So if you get him started really early, it'll help his brain grow. I guess is the point. Learn. Yeah, well, generally you'll see like people with ADHD actually have a higher IQ most of the time, Phoenix, you know? So like generally it means you have a higher IQ. Not always, like there's always outliers and exceptions to it, but it also depends. Like you can kind of use it to your benefit. Again, like people with ADHD, a lot of the time they'll kind of bounce from different obsessions. And sometimes they won't finish them. So like they'll bounce from different obsessions. Like they're kind of chasing the dopamine in their brain. And when they have a new hobby or new interest, it kind of boosts that dopamine. And so they get really, really, really obsessed with specific things. And that was me for trading. Like trading, I got really obsessed with it back in like 2015, 2016. And that's what ultimately drove me to build this channel and community. And so it can be good. Like getting obsessed over specific things like that can be valuable. You just got to learn to kind of manage it, kind of reel it in a little bit so you don't just kind of, you know. I don't have a preference to trade in extended hours. A lot of the time, I mean, my swing trades, most of the time I'll buy up stuff in pre-market because that's where I can analyze extension without kind of distraction of market craziness. Tesla pulling back to the VWAP here. We'll see if this actually holds. Market's actually starting to turn a little bit though. Yeah, so the market's starting to turn a little bit. The SPY is now under the previous closing price, under the 200 EMA, under the volume weighted average price. Tesla is now pulling back to the VWAP level. It's at about 217. Apple is now dipping all the way to the volume weighted average price level as well. And so all these parts are interesting. Again, we're still pretty neutral. Like the SPY, it broke under some pretty big milestone levels that are not good, obviously, if you're on the long side. But again, we got to kind of just wait and see. You can look at Apple to see if Apple's going to potentially bounce at this VWAP level. We're right at that level now, and I'm not sure if it's going to or not. Again, you can kind of see Tesla down here pulling back to that same level too. Yeah, definitely top 3. Yeah, see, I was never on. The problem with medications like that are they make me too unstable. Like I'm not like unstable, like I'm just gonna freak out, but I can't be productive on them. You know, like I can't be productive on them. Yeah. Top, man, just pull back heavily. Yeah, for sure, pawn. We all have our obsessions, man. You know, it's kind of how it goes. It's good, man. It's good. Again, most of the people that you see that are like successful at business are because they're freaking obsessed with whatever niche of business it was. And so it's not a bad thing, you know, like being hyper focused on something can help you build stuff, you know. Most of the people that get really wealthy on specific things are doing so on things that they have a true passion for, that they're obsessed with. That's how they know the market that they're in. You know, that's how they know what to build, what stuff to do. You know, it's because they're obsessed with it, and so that can be a positive for sure. SPX can test the all-time highs. So the S&P 500, I mean, yeah, it could. Still got a long way away from that though. Like we still got a ways. That's already up at almost 5,000 for the S&P 500. I mean, we certainly could. We're definitely on an upward trend recently. And look, look at the bounce on Tesla, right at the volume weighted average price level. It's one of the reasons we watch the VWAP here, is because you get these really nice bounce levels. Yeah. If you haven't already, guys, check out Top Step. Top Step is a funded program for futures in which they give you a demo and they test your skill. And again, if you're struggling to be profitable in trading, this is one of the ways that you can kind of get around that and learn how to really learn how to really get better at trading. Top Step, the first thing is, like, some people are going to call it scams, but it's really not. Like, you have to think about it in this regard, right? Is that most people are going to fail at day trading. It doesn't matter whether they use Top Step, it doesn't matter whether they use TOS, it doesn't matter what platform they use. A large majority of people are going to fail at these funded account programs. And it's because a lot of people are going to fail at day trading. Most people are going to fail at day trading. And so just because you failed doesn't mean it's a scam. Like, the reality of it is, this thing builds your skill better than anything else I've ever experienced. Because Top Step, the reason it's useful is because it limits your risk. If you're a new trader and you put up $20,000, chances are you're probably going to lose that 20K. So, like, putting up that much risk is unnecessary. It's just going to cause you to lose. Where these funded account programs have value is that they allow you to take that risk, but with noticeably less risk, if that makes sense. So you're still trading a large account. You're still trying to get funded. What they do is they give you a demo. The base one's 50K on Top Step. It's like 130 something if you use my link. You got to hit 3K in profit on that demo without losing 2K total. And I think there's $1,000 a day. Like, if you hit $1,000 in losses per day, they make you sit out for the rest of the day, but it doesn't eliminate you. So reasonable 2 to 3 ratio there, very reasonable ratio. And if you can pass their testing, they fund you that 50 grand with a 90% split. And there's tons of resources. They have funding coaches and they have Trader IQ, which allows you to build rules around yourself. Right. And when you think, like, some paper trading accounts cost $100, DOS paper used to cost $100. When you think about that, the benefits that you get from taking these, the skill that it builds for you as a trader, and if you're good enough, it's the best of both worlds, where if you lose, you're only down 130 something bucks. Minimal risk relative to what you would be facing if you put up the money yourself. But if you're good enough, you get 90% of your profit once you move forward. And so it really is the best of both worlds. Again, check them out. You can get 20% off. They are a sponsor of mine, and so I'm definitely biased in their favor. But again, just genuinely useful, because ultimately it just helps you get better at trading without taking too much risk. Now, you got to have reasonable expectations for it, but like I said, it really does help you get better at trading. If you want to check out the link, here it is. They are a sponsor of mine. But yeah. No, I stay away from equity ones, Tyler, because most of the time they're in this really weird market where it's unregulated. You can't use them if you're in the US. If they do allow you to use them in the US, if they're equity based, it's just risky. SEC might come at them. I don't know, Unique. You want to reach out to you want to reach out to whomever there. I'm not sure. All right, so SPY back up, Apple back up, Tesla still at that 200 EMA, but the SPY did rebound all the way back up to over the previous closing price. Apple all the way back up to 182.50. It still needs some range here. All right, so again, we're still there. I'm watching everything else. We're watching NVIDIA here. NVIDIA bouncing back up a little bit, still down. What else did I buy? I bought Johnson & Johnson this morning. It's still too early to tell for that one. I'm looking for extension. AbbVie, ABBV is biotech, though. I just don't trust biotech like that. Oh, we got Twitter. We got a bunch of other stuff. Check out @BeginnerTrades or @BeginnerTrading. Yeah, it's risky. I mean, I don't want that SEC drama if they, So this week is a slower week for economic releases. So this week we got some stuff. Today we actually have some stuff. So it's not like it's super slow, but it's definitely not as busy as like last week, or it's not as busy as last week or as next week's going to be. Today we have S&P, or we have services PMI at 945. We got Lagarde speaking for the ECB. We got ISM non-manufacturing PMI. Tomorrow we have basically nothing, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, tomorrow we have basically nothing. So tomorrow is really slow. Wednesday, we got nothing basically. So we got the Bank of Canada interest rate decision and rate hike decision for BOC. But nothing really there. And then Thursday is our busiest day this week, like it always is. We got jobless claims, pretty slow. Friday, basically nothing going on either. So it's really one of the slowest weeks, and it's a quiet week until next week, which is really busy. We do have GameStop earnings on Thursday that we're going to cover. So we do have GameStop earnings Thursday. But yeah, that's basically a pretty slow week. Not a lot of stuff going on. All right, so part of me is thinking about buying Tesla right here. We're in this little bitty range. I might buy a little piece of this. Let me see, what kind of range is we in? All right, 217. All right, we could probably buy 25 shares. All right, so we're in 25 shares of Tesla here. We'll see if we bounce. If it breaks under the VWAP, we'll cut it, which, hopefully it doesn't, but small little day trade here. Mixed shelf offering, somebody's asking, means it includes common stock, preferred stock, warrants, stuff like that. So it means they're selling all those different things. What news, M? All right, we're flat here on Tesla. Again, SPY up to 498s, or 428s, I mean. We do futures. All right, so Tesla up a little bit. I want to give it time to really bounce back up there. Tesla's up a lot, though, so I think the extension might be on the upside still. We do some options, not a ton. I don't know about profit taking at the open. Potentially. We'll see, you know. SPY dipping down onto the previous closing price again. It's been pretty flat today, guys. We haven't really had a ton of activity here. Apple, a lot of people are watching Apple to see if it breaks the previous close. Or the previous high, the previous all-time high up there. So we're kind of watching Apple in that regard, but it's quiet. We got about an hour until market opens. Watching NVIDIA, Johnson & Johnson here. And we're in Tesla small. Google down a little bit today. Think we get some profit taken in the open. I don't know, man. The SPY's not really up that much in pre-market. Maybe from, like, we could get profit taken from Friday. Like, that's possible. But, you know, the market's already dipping down some, too. And so, like, it's possible, but yeah. Consolidating. We're watching the SPY. Apple's still trying to. We got Tesla in here, and we're in a little bit of Tesla. Again, the SPY is under the previous closing price, under the 200 EMA, under the volume weighted average price. That's not really good. Of course, we don't really want to see drops in the SPY, but supply chain problems. Yeah, what are airlines at? United Airlines up to $50. Again, we're in Tesla green. Looking at our poll numbers, we did do a poll here. We asked people, does Apple break all-time high level today? 62% of people say yes. 38% of people say no. Tesla's still moving up. It's not that up that much. Apple is one that we're really watching. Again, Apple, all-time highs. A lot of people are sitting on that. We'll see if it holds. But, yeah, a lot of people watching that here. All right, still moving up for Tesla here. That's nice. SPY is mostly just choppy. So, like, the liquidity is very low. So, like, you can kind of see it's back over the VWAP, over the 200 EMA now, over the volume weighted average price, over the previous closing price. But the market action is just choppy. So, y'all be careful. All right, Tesla still moving up a little bit. Apple back up to 182.60, so it's getting closer to that previous level here. I'm looking at stock market news. Oil briefly climbed up 1%. Dow jumped 2.1% Friday, which was his best day since January. So we got a quote here. I don't know who this is, from Mace McCain. They said, quote, "Despite the rising number of leading indicators that indicate a recession coming soon, continued strength in the labor market and stubborn levels for personal consumption are pushing the onset further down the road," said Mace McCain. He said, quote, "We don't think the economy can tip into a recession until employment weakens materially. The unemployment rate has spiked with every decline in jobs going back to the 50s, but has yet to happen this cycle." So delaying the recession here. And look at Tesla bounce here, guys. Wow. So Tesla pop it up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and take some off here just to lock in some gains on the day. We just locked in a little bit. We'll let the rest ride up. But that's good to see. You love to see that. Getting a little bounce up at everything here. But again, Apple moving up might help everything too. So here's Apple. Apple at 182.60s. Looks like that little dip in Tesla worked out. I mean, anytime I go up enough, I'm going to take a small. What is WWDC? World Raw Developers Conference, Apple. When does that start? Yeah, the dead deal's done. 12 Eastern. Yeah, I'll be busy. I'm gonna be busy today. Apple's still heading up though. Yeah, man. Honestly, I would usually cover something like that, but I'm busy today, so I'll be busy all day today. It's gonna be kind of a busy week for me personally. Apple pumping up, guys. 30 cents away from all-time highs. 30 cents away for Apple from all-time highs here. Let's see if it breaks it. SPY very flat though, guys. I mean, the market's just sideways here, unfortunately. All right, so we're starting to move up a little bit. Apple up to 182s. How long until ECB? So I know Lagarde speaks today. I'm not sure what time. Let me see. I think it's at like, let me look. So yeah, Lagarde speaks today. It's going to be at in 19 minutes for Lagarde. Now remember, we do have ISM non-manufacturing PMI today. All right, guys. So yeah, Tesla's still moving back up, man. Apple at 182.80 is very close to hitting the previous all-time high, and we'll see if we hit it, guys. We'll see if we hit it, but we're very close to that now. Again, Apple very close to all-time highs. We do have PMI data coming out today. Pretty big release. What numbers are expected for non-manufacturing? So yeah, non-manufacturing numbers today. Man, look at the SPY rip right now, guys. Look at the SPY rip. Apple at 182.80s right now. 182.80s. Tesla at 217s. Look at the SPY bounce up to 428.17s here for the SPY. 428.17. So today, services PMI expected at 55.1. Non-manufacturing PMI expected at 51.8. Or today. And again, we'll cover this later, of course. But man, look at the market pop. Apple moving up as well at 182.80s. Tesla breaking highs again. You love to see it. Let's see if Johnson & Johnson comes back up. But a nice little pop in everything here, including Tesla. I'm going to let Tesla ride, though, here. I mean, it's such a small trade. All right, we're pulling back a little bit on Tesla now, down to 217s. Apple moving up. All right, guys. SPY at 428s. Apple at 182s. Are you still at Disney? Yeah, we're still in it. Amazon terminates union spokesperson. They may start shorting Q. Oh yeah, now we got a little pullback here. Again, we're still green on it. I might as well just let it ride, I think. We already took profits, so we're pretty safe in this regardless of what happens here, I think. Again, Tesla bounced up a little bit. SPY up there to 428s here. We still got about 40 minutes into the opening bell. Apple is still popping up. It's slowing down a little bit, but I do think the all-time high is kind of like a magnet for this stuff too. And we'll see if it continues. All right, pulling back a little bit of Tesla. Again, we took profit. Still at Disney a little bit, but we have taken some profit off on it because we can. I mean, we're up so much already, we might as well, right? We'll see if we keep it up, but yeah. Do you think Apple's event today? I think what's moving Apple closer to the all-time highs is from the event today. I think it depends on what they say. I think there's obviously a chance that it moves Apple on the upside, but there's obviously a chance that it doesn't. You know, these events can sometimes be overwhelming. They can sometimes be underwhelming as well, and that can cause specific reactions depending on obviously which result it was. So that's something to understand, that like just because they have this conference today doesn't necessarily mean Apple has to go up. I think people are getting hyped up about it ahead of time. In pre-market, we're at 182.80s right now in pre-market, so we are starting to move up a little bit on Apple. We are about 15 cents away from the previous all-time high. So Apple's going. The all-time high now, I guess, let me see, 182.94. So basically 183, but realistically, the actual all-time high is very close to us, is right around here. So this is the technical previous all-time high. So like we're gonna make this yellow and we're gonna make it thick. There we go. So this is the all-time high level for Apple right here at the top. So this level right here is the all-time high level. Again, 183 is pretty close, but yeah, we'll see. I'm not sure what we're gonna do with the opening bell. All right, SPY pulling back down to the VWAP here. The question is, do we buy this dip? I think we could. I think we could buy the dip. Let me think about it. Maybe if I buy it, it's going to be in futures. All right, so yeah, if we buy it, it's going to be in futures. It's a pretty large dip, though, that we're getting here. Apple pulling back fairly heavily, too, despite all this stuff today. So that's a pretty big pullback dip. Again, we might buy the dip. I think I'm going to wait, though. All right, we might buy one contract on this pullback here. Wait, what? Let me see. So we might buy some futures here. Hold on one second, guys. Let me exit out of the. All right, so we got a little pullback in Apple as well. Let me know if you think that. I mean, there could be an argument for a dip buy at Apple just because. Yeah, I think a lot of people are basically getting ready to buy the dip, assuming that Apple's going to make another leg up for the all-time highs. And I guess I will as well. Here, I'm going to put it up on the screen. I guess I will as well because I think there's an argument that Apple tries to hit the all-time highs today. It's so close here. We'll take 20 shares of Apple. Down here, 30 shares of Apple. 40 shares of Apple, 50 shares of Apple. We'll take 50 shares of Apple right here with the whole plan to see if we get the all-time high test. You know, even if we, I mean, there's a chance that we don't hit it, but like, you know, we'll see. Close enough to that all-time high level. All right. We're in Apple a little bit here. All right, so again, Apple, man, we could have bought the dip. I'm trying to get my futures set up. It's acting funny. All right, so we're in Apple right here too. Small. There goes Tesla making a pop. So we're still in Tesla small here too. We'll let that sit. We're just going to see if the E-mini bounces up some too. We did buy the dip in futures. We finally got it able to work. So we did buy that dip in futures here. me put the music back on. There we go. Yeah, we'll see. Again, Apple might move up because they have their meeting today, and I think there's a lot of people that might be maybe potentially front loading into Apple. You know, what are you spamming that for, low beams? Again, market's choppy, so just be careful. Flat right now. Again, we bought a little bit of Apple. We're in Tesla here. These are mostly just day trades, though. SoFi trying to wake up. Yeah, somebody mentioned SoFi today. The question is, does Apple make a test towards the all-time high? I think that's the question we're looking at here. So yeah, we're not gonna do ads. Low beam. Weird troll, brother. Weird troll, man. Mohammed, I don't see him saying Fed should hike now. Yeah, well, the odds of a Fed rate hike are very low. So the odds right now, let me refresh this because honestly, these numbers have changed. These numbers have changed a lot. And they got a little bit better since the last time I looked at it. Last time it was 80%. This time it is up here at 76 to 24%. So, you know, basically a quarter chance, 25% chance we're going to raise rates, 75% chance that we're not. We're going to pause or skip or whatever they're calling it now. So basically it's more likely that we're going to pause or skip versus rate hike, you know. Bitcoin is dropping. Hey man, will Dow fall or rise today? I really have no idea, brother. I have genuinely no idea what the Dow is going to do today. SPY very choppy right now too. So the SPY is mostly just kind of contracting around the previous closing price. So as for what the SPY does today, I really have no idea. I'm watching Apple. I think if Apple makes a test of the all-time high, that might arguably drag the market up. And so I think like I'm watching it in that regard to see if Apple starts to make that test, because that's a big milestone level that everybody is essentially watching right now. So it's kind of a milestone level that a lot of people are watching. And so in that regard, if Apple makes that test, that should be good for longs. So we're in a couple long trades right now, hopefully betting on this specific outcome, you know. And again, I'll see if we hit it or not. But that's ultimately what we are looking at right now. The market's moving up. Apple's starting to make that test. So again, you can kind of see me in the E-mini currently. I'm currently in the E-mini right now. Yeah, we'll see if it actually holds. Apple's starting to make that move back up at 182.70s. Even if it doesn't hold, it's still good for me. We're green on our Apple trade now too. That's nice. But that's kind of the bet I'm making in the market right now, as I think if Apple's starting to really surge back up to 182.80s, SPY back up to 428s. Again, we bought the dip in the regular E-mini. We already took one contract off. We got one contract left, up about $40 on that last contract. We are in Apple right now. We are in Tesla. we are currently in the E-mini. And again, the whole goal right now is like if Apple surges up and starts testing that all-time high, that could cause a flush. That could cause a surge of market activity. And so, yeah, that's kind of what we're doing right now. And it looks to be turning out pretty well for me. Here's the E-mini ripping up. Again, sometimes all-time highs are kind of like a magnet, if you will, you know. So, like, nice little surge. We're going to go ahead and cut that. So we just made a good little gain there. We're up in our Apple trade. We're up in our Tesla trade, too. Again, I'm definitely not going to hold this all day or anything like that. But we are... all right, so we're up about $100 in futures today. There's the Apple press. You love to see it. This is what we want. SPY moving up. Maybe I got out a little premature here, but it's all good. We're green on the day. Let the surge happen. So Apple getting really close to the all-time highs here for Apple, guys. Really close to the all-time highs. It's basically at those levels now for all-time high levels. SPY up. Tesla up. Apple basically at all-time high levels here, team. So 2 cents away from all-time highs and about to break all-time highs, it looks like. The all-time high is 182.93. There we go. We just tapped all-time highs for Apple. We just hit it. SPY at 428.20s. Are you taking profit when Apple hits all-time highs? I don't know. Shouldn't you take bigger size than this on Apple? I mean, these are just kind of little feeler trades. They're not really my actual trades. Like most of the time on my TOS account, I'm swing trading. And so me taking a little short day trade here to make some money is, you know, it doesn't matter what size I use, realistically. All right, so we're going to get this ready because now we have... now we got manufacturing and PMI numbers coming out later today. All right, so Apple tapped the all-time high and now pulled back a little bit. I guess I'm just going to sit in this. All right, so we got PMI data coming out. Apple finally pulling back here. Tesla's still looking strong, though, and we're in Tesla right now, but I don't know what I want to do with it. I want to give Apple another chance, whether it breaks it now. So it just tapped off of that level. SPY's still moving up. But, yeah, I think you got to just wait. Yeah, I mean, Justin, that's kind of how it goes, man. I mean, the market right now will try to convince you, like, bro, the problem is that, like, you don't know what traders are doing off stream, you know? So, like, traders might act like they're the most profitable. Like, traders have this big habit of, like, cherry picking. And I'm again, it really is something that like you can look at statistics. Most people on YouTube will act like they're just making 1,000% a year, right? None of them are. You know, and again, I talked about it before. If they actually were, they would show you their broker statements because that would be incredibly powerful in terms of credibility building if they were actually doing that, right? They could go work at at Goldman Sachs making millions, you know. The reason you don't see a lot of people doing that is because nobody's actually doing that. If you can make 30% a year, you're elite in trading, like super elite. But if you look at like guru culture, they're going to act like they are just the greatest traders of all time. And if they really were, again, they'd be showing you their broker statement every single month. Every single month, you'd see their broker statement. The reason you don't see traders showing you their broker statement every month is because a lot of the time they'll only show you 1 month. They'll be like, yeah, look how profitable I am. Here's 1 month of broker statements. And it's like 1 month doesn't mean anything. What that actually means is like they were only profitable that month. You know, if they were profitable every month, they'd show it to you every month. And so that's the thing to truly understand is that most of these people are full of crap. You know, it's one of the reasons like I don't claim to be anything. I don't claim to be a guru. I don't even claim to be a good trader or anything like that. Because again, I don't want that pressure. Like I'd rather just be a community of traders, like a kind of resource and community of traders, you know. All right, so again, Aapl back up, testing that level again, back up to 182.90 basically right now. Let's see if it breaks. It's close. It's close to breaking the all-time highs. The problem, though, is that nobody wants me saying this because it hurts their business model, me saying this, unfortunately. Yeah, Pawn. I don't want to be specific. You know, that's kind of how it goes, dude. You know. Sorry, DS. Thanks, bro. Yeah. WhatsApp. Never join a WhatsApp scammer, guys. They're gonna put so much crap on here. There we go. But yeah, so again, Tesla up there, Apple up there. You know, we made some money on the SPY dip, so we're up. We got a nice little cushion heading into the opening bell. We'll see if it holds, but yeah. Hi, I triple my account in 2 months in trading to copy your style. The problem is, I know I will lose everything. Hey man, just be careful, bro. Like, tripling your account. I mean, it depends on how big your account is, I guess, but just be careful, man. You know. Yeah. Smokey. You know. Friday, great movie. Rest in peace to the dad, man. The dad, James Witherspoon. Rest in peace. Good dude. Passed away a couple years ago. Every time I would eat a burrito, I would sing the hot sauce burrito song to my daughter when she was little. You know. Love the movie though. Great movie, man. Rest in peace to the dad from Friday. And yeah, SPY testing all-time highs here. Again, the question is, does the Apple break all-time highs? Sometimes it's like a magnet. You know, so sometimes it could be like a magnet. So again, the all-time highs are right here, this yellow line on Apple. We're very close. There's GameStop, but that's the only big earnings. The only big earnings this week are GameStop. This is the slowest week of the month, without question. Next week, though, it makes up for those. So this week is slow. Next week is not slow at all. So this week's slow, kind of boring. Next week, it picks up. Yeah, I mean, I understand it though, Dio. Like the problem here is that like you really can make so much more money selling courses, you know, and that's what like gets a lot of people is that like you put some sleazy marketing out there, you act like you're some expert guru, you cherry pick your winners and only show your winners, and you sell a course, you can make millions and millions of dollars, right? Like that's the problem is that it's much easier to make millions and millions of dollars than it is to give everything away for free. Like, people get mad at me because I have sponsors or ads or whatever it is, right? But like we might do 4 advertisement plugs a stream, maybe 4. So 1 every hour. So very light. Every time I plug anything, I tell people, hey, they pay me money. I'm biased in their favor. And there's just a difference between that and like shilling a course, acting like I'm gonna make, like, again, and the problem is that it takes advantage of desperate people, right? Desperate people are desperate. So like, if you tell somebody, hey man, you can take $1,000 and turn it into 20K next week if you buy my course, if you're really desperate, that might sound like, hey man, I need that, you know. And so the problem is that it's manipulating the desperate. That's the big issue I have with it. And you know, it's just kind of part of the trading culture nowadays, to be honest. If you had $800 into your account, how would you go into this week? If I had $800, what I would probably do is I would probably wait for really extended dips on the downside and healthy blue chip companies. Just kind of sit and wait. I'd probably just sit back and wait for big pullbacks, wait for like a string of like a really red week where we just drop really big percentages over like 1 or 2 week period, and then wait for a blue chip healthy company that is obviously going to be around, and then just wait and buy that dip whenever that happens. I think the odds are very high in that situation that it's going to bounce back in your favor. You got to be patient and wait for it. And as long as you're willing to hold it indefinitely and let that stock come back, you'll probably be fine. You know, maybe not, but that's the way you grow those accounts like that. Those are the high probability trades that you got to get involved with. Everything else is just kind of a gamble. You can try to day trade it. You know, maybe you do, maybe you don't do it successfully. But I think that's the highest probability way to grow a small account. No, Kindle, probably not, whoever it is. All right, guys, Apple consolidating. Again, will it make the test towards all-time highs is the real question. We do have in about 30 minutes, we have services PMI. So we got services PMI. All right, guys, 15 minutes. Yeah, we try. I mean, these aren't huge. Yeah, I mean, that's probably the best edge, I think, if you're gonna do that. This channel just provides transparency and is realistic about the market activity. Yeah, I mean, we try, man. That's why. Like, and again, it's not like I don't want to be self-righteous. Like, most of the, like, I make money doing this for sure, you know, but that should be understandable. I mean, again, I could make far more if I was sleazy with it, but like, I'd rather just be like, yo, I'm not an expert, you know. Yeah, but I don't get it twisted. I would make much more if I didn't hack that way. No, that's actually a great gain, Michael. But again, that's the thing. Like, this year is really good. This year's been really solid for gains for sure. PMI is Purchasing Managers Index. Today is Services PMI and Non-Manufacturing PMI. And so they're kind of self-explanatory. Services PMI is expected at 55.1. It's published monthly. It's based on surveys of 400 private sector executives and service companies. It covers transportation, communication, financial intermediaries, business and personal services, computing and IT, hotels and restaurants. A level of 50 is neutral. Above 50 signals improvement in those sectors. Below 50 indicates deterioration in those sectors. Expectations for services are for 55.1. That drops at 9:45 in about 25 minutes or whatever it is, 25, 30 minutes or so. And again, that services PMI, they're expecting a slight improvement at 55.1 over 50. And then we also have non-manufacturing ISM PMI. Non-manufacturing, also known as ISM services. So, yeah. That data drops today. We'll see. Yeah, there's SPY breaking highs again. Aapl creeping up towards the all-time highs again, guys. So Aapl starting to creep up towards the ATH here. Again, all-time highs are at 182.93s. Basically, 183 is what I'm giving it. Hey, nice, Michael. Hey, that's all right. Hey, thank you, V. Yeah, what's Bitcoin at right now? Bitcoin's still at 26s here, so still struggle. Yeah, about 11 minutes, guys. Again, it's a slower week this week, team. ETH 1864. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin's still a struggle. It's been pulling back. It pulled back a lot today, man. It dropped today from... So I already did that sports poker guy. I mean, CHRD is an oil play. It's moved up a little bit over the last few years, but I don't know enough about this company, man. I'll look at it, brother, but look at the SPY break highs here today, team. Look at the SPY up to 428. I mean, we can look at CRHD, again, up a lot over the last year. You know, very strong gains on the year. It's a little bit too extended for my taste, but I guess it depends on what happens macroeconomic situation with oil. But it's up to 150s. It's up a lot. You know, if we look at the weekly chart, since last year, I don't know what happened, of whether this was a split or what, but it's up to 150s right now. It's had a pretty strong year. So, but again, I don't know enough about this company to really say much. I appreciate the donation though, brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate the donation for sure. Yeah, we'll see if it keeps it up. Also, guys, y'all check out Top Step again if you want to try to get funded in the futures market. Try out Top Step. Top Step is a funded program for futures in which they give you a demo and they test your skill. And if you can hit the target on their demo while following their rules and conditions, they fund you between 50,000 up to 150K. It really is useful for traders, and I'll explain why. Is that most traders are going to fail these funded account programs, but that's kind of the point. Is that it's so much cheaper to fail this funded account program than put up the money yourself and lose that. It really is. Like, that's the thing that people have to understand is, like, people get mad they lose on these, but you probably would have lost way more if you put the money up yourself. And if you pass it, so if you're good enough to pass it, you get a lot of the same rewards you would if you put the money up yourself. And so it really is the best of both worlds. The futures market, there's no PDT restriction. And so you can day trade short and futures with no PDT rule. And again, Top Step is the easiest way to get your foot in the door. Now we're watching Apple here. Apple's still got a ways to go. I'm going to put up 2 charts here so we can really just watch Apple and maybe Tesla. But Apple's been on that upward trend here. I don't know if it's going to continue. We are up a little bit on the day so far, but hey, thank you, TJ, my guy. Thank you, man. Thank you, Sports Poker Guy. I appreciate the donations there too. But yeah, again, when you think about what Top Step offers, Top Step, they give you a demo, they test your skill. The base one's $50K. They give you a $50K demo. If you can hit their profit target on that $50K demo without losing over $2K and pass the rest of their testing, then they fund you 50 grand. And so if you lose, you're down 130 something bucks. If you pass it, you get a 90% split. And if you make 15, 20K, you make 20K, you keep 18 of that since they're funding you that money. And so really useful to get around the PDT rule, to test your skill, to build your skill. And they've got funded coaches. They've got Trade IQ, which allows you to build rules and alerts you if you break your rules and all this different stuff in the markets. And so a lot of benefits, very cheap. And yeah, check it out here. Again, they are a sponsor of mine, so I'm certainly biased in their favor. So if it's higher than expected, that means expansion in the economy. Dr. Crypto. Now, that can be seen as a good thing or a bad thing, depending on what your fears are, whether your fears are recession, which is less likely. My guess is that like the market's fearing inflation currently is what my guess is. But again, I don't know. But that's my guess, is that the market's fearing inflation currently. Again, SPY at 428. So pulled back a little bit, but Apple's still pretty flat since the last couple minutes. 6 minutes until the opening bell, though, guys. But yeah, Apple's still pretty flat. Now, the opening bell is going to be the real test. Tesla's still doing pretty good. I mean, we're up there on Tesla. What else did I buy today? I bought the SPY, but I already got out. Okay. We're pretty flat on the day overall in our swing trades. Yeah, what's up, Architect? What's up, BG? Services PMI is 70% of workforce, and it's also yeah. So I mean, these will move markets, but how much we don't know. It's not like this is a huge release. But yeah, appreciate the donations, guys. Yeah, I'm just kind of waiting for a pullback dip. So hypothetically, in an inflation-fearing market, good PMI is good for the dollar, but bad for the E-mini. Correct. Hypothetically, right? We don't know for sure, but like if the market's fearing inflation, economic growth is going to be seen as a negative. And so growth in those sectors might not be seen as a good thing because that's why they raise rates. Now, this week's a little bit slow anyway, though. Like there's not a lot of economic releases this week. So, you know, this is some of the only ones this week. I mean, this one, jobless claims later on in the week. GameStop earnings Thursday. Yeah, so we'll see what we get. It's going to be a slower week for me, too. I'm going to be busy a lot this week. I don't want to be specific about what I'm doing, but I'm just going to be busy. All right, look at Apple. Apple on the right side here, trying to make moves. Yeah, that's pretty good just to keep this as the screen. SPY moving back up a little bit. Yeah, the developer day for Apple might move stuff too. It depends on what they debut. You know, a lot of people are talking about the Apple Dev Day or whatever it is, but it depends. Like again, sometimes with a lot of this stuff, sometimes it can be overwhelming, sometimes it can be underwhelming too. So that's something to understand, is like, it's not always good, you know. But with Apple so close to the all-time highs, I think a lot of people are hoping that Apple drops something favorable. And we got about 3 minutes until the market opens, guys. But yeah. Let me test something here real quick. We got a little cushion on the day now. All right, guys, 2.5 minutes, 2.5 minutes. Again, it might be a little bit slower of a week for me, just because of might be kind of slower just because of the lack of economic releases this week. We just don't have much. Thursday's probably going to be our busiest day, but the rest of the week's going to be pretty slow, and that's all right. We're going to be busy. SPY up to 428.30s. Apple dipping now under the 200 EMA. Yeah, I mean, we tapped all-time highs. There's no guarantee we're going to break it, so I do have to understand that in this trade for Apple. All right, guys, 1.5 minutes left, guys. 1.5 minutes left. Again, hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet. Hit the notification bell. We appreciate it. Tesla's still moving up, but look at Apple dip right at the 200 EMA, retracing all the way back down. Look at that retracement there. All right, here goes the open. Yeah, Apple completely retraced it, and then Tesla's still moving up too, so that's a good sign. Doesn't mean anything quite yet, but that's a good sign. All right, guys, here's the opening bell in about 50 seconds. All right, SPY dipping down ahead of the opening bell. 20 seconds, or 10 seconds, guys, 10 seconds. Really about 5 seconds now. Tesla moving up, though, nicely still, too. Apple still consolidating. It's still got about 50 cents until it breaks the all-time highs. It tapped it. It tapped the all-time highs, but it didn't actually do anything yet. So, again, Tesla starting to move up. There's the open. There's the opening bell. Yeah, Apple dumping fast. So again, we'll see if it retraces, and we'll let the opening volatility play out. Tesla flying up, guys. Wow, we're gonna take some off of Tesla here. Nice. I took a little piece off. Took another little piece off. We'll see if Apple retraces back. What else did I buy this morning? Okay, everything's doing pretty good, with the exception of Apple. There's a nice little retracement on Apple. Tesla's still breaking highs here. Again, I'm going to go ahead and take some more profit off there on Tesla. That's nice to see. SPY still moving up big. Apple retracing back up some, so that's nice. Still a little choppy range for the E-mini at the opening bell here, team. There goes Apple pushing up, testing the 200 EMA and the VWAP here. There we go. Apple starting to creep back up. 182.50s. Yeah, I mean, that's got us nicely green on the day. A lot of our other swings are doing well, too. Oh man, I'm actually in NVIDIA. I'm gonna take some off of NVIDIA here too. I forgot. I don't know when I bought NVIDIA, but I bought it. All right, we're now green again on our Apple trade. Apple surging up too. All right, so we just cut our NVIDIA trade too. Apple's still consolidating at this top. Looks very strong too. I'm gonna see if we get that all-time high break. There we go. Apple just broke all-time highs. So Apple just popped over all-time highs, still making moves up. All right, we took half off of Apple. Apple just broke all-time highs at 182.95. Let's watch the 183 level. It did break it for a split second here. SPY's starting to run back up too. But a big retracement on the upside of the SPY. That's one of the weirdest. Wow. What the heck happened to it? Why did the SPY retrace so much? Look at this thing. It retraced from one. Like, what happened? Did some news come out? I mean, we're making money and everything else. So I mean, it's fine. It's not like it's hurting us. But man, what a weird retracement. Maybe I don't even see that on everything else. So I don't see that on the E-mini too. Apple surging up some more here. We're gonna take some more profit at the top just in case it doesn't break. We'll let the rest ride. Nice little green day though. I mean, we rode a bounce and everything basically, but the SPY is weird right now. Capitalized on NVIDIA. That's good. We're making money on Apple now too. Apple's still surging up at 183s. Nice. We'll take some more off. Nice. Breaking highs again. Take some more off. All right, so we've scaled out of most of Apple. We caught the bounce. Beautiful trade. Worked out exactly as planned. Cool. So yeah, we'll switch to more day trading momentum now. But yeah, that worked out great. Could be what their ECB president Lagarde is saying. That actually makes more sense. But yeah, exactly. I mean, you see how you kind of build a thesis, guys, and you work on that. Again, I told you guys today, I don't know what they're going to say during the Apple event. I know with Apple being so close to all-time highs, it was very probable that Apple would rip up and at least break all-time highs some, right? It was very probable. So we loaded up beforehand in anticipation of that. In pre-market, we loaded up. We bought some Tesla. We bought some NVIDIA on the dip for short-term extension. And at the opening bell, we just caught all of those for a really nice bounce. And now Apple looks even stronger still. We're in a little piece still, but that's kind of how you build a thesis and let it work. And you're going to have little ideas like that if you can be patient and wait for ideas like that, it's really, I'm not going to say it's easy to make money, but it's easier for sure. Apple broke highs again, still making that pop. Apple's still moving. Running up more and more. Took some more off. Man, our Walgreens, Walmart trades are both doing pretty good too. I'll let these work, I think. What else did I buy? Johnson & Johnson looking better too. So yeah, I bought some Johnson & Johnson this morning. Small trade, but we bought a little bit of that. The SPY's kind of weird right now, though. We got some upward movement. We got a little cushion in futures too, but Man, SPY ripping back up here, man. What a strong market right now, which is crazy, man. This is like the third or fourth day of the really strong market. Look at the SPY rip. Kind of crazy. I don't know whether you should buy or sell on PMI. No idea. You know, be safe, be smart. Good luck. I have no idea what it's going to do, though. Finally got a dip in the SPY. I'm going to buy this dip, one contract. We got about $100 cushion on the day now. So we're going to buy the dip with one contract, see if we get a quick little retracement back up. Around flat right now. We just want to see a retracement back up to the top. SPY price action is weird. Very weird price action on the SPY here. Yeah, what is going on right now for the SPY? Very strange price action. All right, we're flat again. Look at these. Look at this price action here on the SPY. I'm gonna cut this. I just don't trust this. This looks odd. Like the SPY is moving very strange. I don't know if this was a glitch or what right here, but it's throwing off the whole price action of the chart. I guess you gotta go by like the E-mini. Maybe I'll switch to the NASDAQ today. What's the NASDAQ doing? Yeah, NASDAQ had a nice little pop. We'll probably switch to this. Micro NASDAQ here. Set to load into this dip instead. I just trust this more. There we go. There we go. I took half off there. We could have had our SPY trade, but the price action is just strange, to be honest here. Very odd price action there. All right, starting to get some move back up in the NASDAQ here. We're going to go ahead and take that off too. So made our money right back. We'll see if we keep it up. Get a nice little pop. So we just made a huge rip up. Look at Aapl test the highs again here. So everything else is getting pumped up again. Wow. NASDAQ just broke highs again. Aapl price action is weird, but look at Aapl. 183. Or SPY price action is weird, but look at Aapl. Wow. We're going to buy this little dip right at the top. Took half off there. Go ahead and get out there. So we have made a nice little day so far, kind of day trading. The NASDAQ, the micro NASDAQ, we're up about 150 or so on the day right now. We got the little pop in the little pullback now, so we're kind of waiting to see if we get anything better here. Stock's doing really well too. Still moving up on the NASDAQ here, though. Wow, man. Look at this crazy run right now. SPY bouncing back up some, too. Yeah, maybe Apple hype from their new Apple products coming in. That's probably what's causing this. All right, guys. We got services PMI in about 3 minutes here, guys. 3 minutes for services PMI. So y'all prepare for services PMI. 3 minutes. I don't know how much it's going to move the market. I don't know what they're going to do there. Yeah, I'm gonna be busy today, man. We're doing some stuff today, TJ. So I'm gonna be pretty much busy all day today, brother. But yeah, look at the NASDAQ fly up here. We got 2 minutes before services PMI, guys. 2 minutes. $55.1 is what's expected here for services PMI. 55.1. $55.1. All right, we're waiting here. Finally got a little bit of a pullback. The SPY is acting funny, though, man. Sometimes you can get rid of these candles, correct this bar. Let's lower this bar a little bit to 429. 428. All right, we're going to try to correct that candle. There we go. We kind of fixed this candle on the SPY a little bit. There we go. We kind of fixed this candle. So again, I kind of edited this candle to make it a little bit more reasonable of price action here. NASDAQ's now pulling back. Services PMI comes out in 30 seconds, guys. 30 seconds. Makes it look a little bit more reasonable. All right, guys. 30 seconds. All right, so here goes the services PMI. Services PMI came in at 54.9, slightly lower than expected, 54.9. I think the market might see this as positive. 54.9 for services PMI, guys, 54.9. And again, I'm not sure if the market is going to see this as positive or not, but I know it means less economic growth, which might be seen as positive because of inflation fears. Hasn't really moved the market much, but again, 54.9 versus 55 expected, basically. And again, we'll see if the market moves at all. But yeah, that was basically the data that just dropped. Again, 54.9. We'll put this up on screen. All right, so we got that on screen. Hola. Yeah, I'm using them. I don't know where mine were. I didn't feel like finding them. Yeah, you'll be fine. Good morning. Apple breaking highs again at 183.80s, almost 184s. My daughter's mad I'm using her AirPods. I don't know where mine were, but all right, guys, we got 14 minutes until we got actual the other PMI drop. Yeah, Tesla. Is Tesla over that? Hey, Tesla 221.29 is the high of the day. Finally getting a dip in NASDAQ. Look at the SPY, though, bro. SPY is so weird, dude. What is going on with the SPY today, man? Look at the price action today on this thing, dude. What a weird day. I've never seen this like this before, man. Anybody know what's going on with the SPY today? Very strange. So we just scalped a little bit more of the regular the NASDAQ. So we are now up about 240 on the day. Nice little cushion. Tesla bouncing up at the VWAP here. Manipulation. Yeah, it's very strange. This is very strange price action on the SPY right now. Dow is inducing SPY. Yeah, man, I don't know what's going on with the market right now. All right, guys. Again, we got about 10 minutes, a little bit less than that. But no, look at the market, man. This is a really weird market today. What is going on the SPY? What is the SPY waiting for? Could the SPY just be waiting for services PMI today? But like this is very weird price action today, guys. Very strange. And again, if you want to day trade like I'm day trading now, you know, again, you can kind of see today we're up about 240. Try out Top Step. Again, Top Step, if you could pass their testing, they legitimately fund you as a proprietary trader. The startup is very cheap. Again, it's like 130 something if you use my link. And if you lose, it's not the end of the world. You're only down 130 something bucks. You can reset for 100. But if you pass it, you get 90% of your profit. It really is the easiest way to get funded and test your skill in the market. And they are the most legit. They're kind of who everybody else copies off of. Market turning here, guys. Market turning. If you want to check it out, there is the link in chat right there, guys. Check it out. Market started to turn, though. What is pushing up so much? I guess Walmart's up today so much. I'm going to take a little bit off of Walmart here because that Walmart dip buy turned out beautifully. Walgreens, too. All right, so we're starting to turn on the SPY. Apple's starting to dip down again. We got 9 minutes, guys. 9 minutes. Again, the question for the next potential trade idea that I have is like, okay, if we do pause and we don't raise rates next week, could the banks move up in sympathy from that? You know, because if a pause is incredibly likely, wouldn't it kind of make sense? Like, okay, a pause is super likely. If we do pause, that's better for banks. In that regard, banks could move up from a pause announcement. But again, I don't know for sure. It's just kind of a trade idea I have right now. Yeah, I don't know what the market's doing right now. It's weird. I'm green on the day, but everything's starting to turn. AI is starting to turn. Nvidia broke up to 396s. It's now turning all the way back down. All the way back down to 390s here for AI, for Nvidia. AI is doing well, though. AI is pushing up. Yeah, I don't know what's going on in the market. I know the sentiment changed, though. Stuff's starting to look weak. I'm going to start shorting into this little bounce on the NASDAQ here. 2 contracts on the micro NASDAQ. We'll get up to like 4 or 5. All right, there's 3. I think I'm just going to stop right here. The NASDAQ does move fast. There we go. All right, so we just took most of that off. We got 1 contract left. Let's see if we break lows here and we could ride this 1 contract down. Back to the break-even level. We get cleanly over this, I'll cut it, but hopefully we don't need to. Hopefully it just rejects back down. We got an upwick, which means selling pressure coming through here. Starting to break down. Wow. There we go. There's the flush rejection. Now we popped right back up at that low, but we'll give it time. Market's turning. Oh, what did I just click? Okay, I'm still in it. Good. I was about to say. I don't want to accidentally click anything here. Now we're popping back, consolidating here. We'll give it time. Again, we've already taken profit, so, you know. All right, there's the break of the lows again. Where's my mouse, dude? Okay, there we go. All right, nice. All right, we'll go ahead and cut that there. We're up almost 300 on the day, about 280. All right, guys, 6 minutes, guys, 6 minutes. All right, so ahead of the services PMI, guys, we're going to go and put it in sub-only mode. So we're going to throw it in sub-only mode. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, team. We appreciate it. Services PMI drops in about 5 minutes. Non-manufacturing, they're both the same thing. Like non-manufacturing and services PMI are basically the same thing. Some call it non-manufacturing, some call it services. It's also known as the ISM services PMI. Basically same concept. Above 50 indicates non-manufacturing sector is expanding. Below 50 indicates it's contracting, right? So it's non-manufacturing and services growth, right? So that's what this is. So again, over 50. Expectations for this one are 51.8. 51.8. So they're expecting a slight expanding one. And this is much bigger than the services one that dropped 10 minutes ago. This one's much larger than that. So, yeah. All right, so we are bouncing back a little bit again, guys, about 3.5 minutes. right, so we're starting to bounce up a little bit. Again, AI pulling back a little bit at 3250s. NVIDIA at 390s. Starting to retrace a little bit. A lot of the time I'll short these little pops, but all right, guys, 3 minutes. Is it big? It's not huge, but it's not small either. And again, if you want to day trade these economic releases, check out Top Step. Top Step. Again, what Top Step gives you is just a reasonable way to get started in it. Most new traders are going to lose their first few accounts, right? But taking something like this just builds your skill, and it allows you to get started for cheap. You know, the base one, you can get it from my link, about 130 something a month. $3,000 profit target. You got 5 contracts max, which is plenty. $2,000 trailing max drawdown. Very reasonable ratio. You got to make 3K without losing 2K. If you can pass that testing, they fund you legitimately. And you can check out the link in the description if you want more info on it. Again, micro NASDAQ consolidating. SPY starting to break down, tapping the previous closing price. And Aapl is right back down to 183, which is right around the previous lifetime high. And so that might act as like a support level. Yeah, again, just remember, news drops in about 2 minutes. It might influence the market a lot. We don't know. AI stocks are starting to turn. I don't know if we're going to decline. We're getting a little pop here, guys. 1 minute. All right, guys, here's the data release. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. All right, guys, SPY bouncing back. Again, SPY started to look a little bit more reasonable than it did. AI is what's kind of turning down, though. If you look at this, like AI is kind of what's turning down. All right, guys, 10 seconds here, guys. Let's see what we get today. Here's the report. 51.8 is what's expected, and there's the release. It came in at 50.3, lower than expected again, and this is causing a short-term pop. Lower than expected, 50.3 versus 51.8 expected. Lower than expected data, 50.3 versus 52.2 expected, or 50, we have some different ones. But again, 50.3 is what we showed up as, lower than expected, and it is making the market initially pop here. We'll put this up on screen. There's the data right there, but 50.3 versus 52.2 expected here. Initially, we got a pop in everything. The SPY, everything else starting to bounce back up a little bit. And again, that means the market's fearing inflation to a certain extent, I think. But 50.3 is what we're showing up as. SPY back up a little bit. Starting to move back up at 14.6. SPY moving up at 429s. Again, green action. It means the market was fearing inflation, so lesser economic growth in manufacturing and or in services. I mean, is being interpreted as positive right now, and the market's starting to move up. That's what's kind of going on here. Is the market wants to see less economic growth in that regard because of inflation fears, right? So if the market's fearing inflation, they're going to want to see lower PMI numbers here, and that's what we got. And so the market's liking this here. Look at the market bounce back up to 429.20s here, guys. So the market's ripping back up. I'm looking at the rate hike percentages and probabilities. They're still pretty much the same at about 80%. AI starting to bounce back up as well. But yeah, the market's ripping up on this data. Again, what this means is that the market feared inflation going into this. And so less economic growth is going to be seen as positive, better than expected here. And that's kind of why we're popping up as much as we are. All right, guys, market's pulling back a little bit here. Again, we'll see if it actually holds. All right, so we just scalped another little gain from this here. So on the regular E-mini, we are up about 400 on the day. Nice little cushion. SPY pulling back here. We'll see if it actually holds this level, but here's the NASDAQ. And again, the big thing about futures is that you can actually day trade the futures market with no PDT restrictions. Right now, you see me day trading the NASDAQ, but I can also day trade essentially the SPY and what's called the E-mini. This can be really easy, really powerful to trade. It's not easy. Let me rephrase. It's not easy at all. But again, that's why the futures market is valuable. And most pro traders day trade futures over stocks because, again, there's no PDT rule in futures, and you can essentially day trade in short. And you can look at this economic data and see it come in and then maybe take some trades based off of that. Again, if you want to try it out, link is in the description for Top Step. But yeah, pretty good day so far. I don't know if, let me see if we've lost. Okay, yeah, so we got 11-to-1 profit loss ratio today here in futures. So that's good. We'll see if we keep it up. But Apple's starting to push up. We do have the Aapl event today as well. So yeah, we'll see. Also, guys, another one of my sponsors is a company called Chart Prime. It's a trading view indicator service that you can use in stocks, crypto, forex, futures. Put the link up here. They can be really cool because if you look at this, let me find it. If you look at this, they can just kind of give you some really nice kind of guidance and everything. Like I like having these 3 charts up on screen, and you can kind of see. Let me clear some of this junk, this cloud, not junk, but you can kind of see it shows you smart money concepts if you want, where you can see like if something's expensive or premium versus equilibrium versus much lower than that to see if something's extended or not using smart money concepts. You can kind of see here. Whenever you get a strong buy signal, usually it works pretty well. My real edge that I like is finding multiple showing up together at once. Because I think multiple showing up together at once is like the easiest way to take some trades. Like look at 3 indicators: strong sell signal, reversal down, and bearish engulfing candle. And look at the drops you get over the next 15 minutes. Buy signal here. Look at the huge pop you get. Buy signal here. Look at the huge bounce you get. And again, you can use this on any time frame: stocks, crypto, forex, futures. You can use it on 1 hour. Again, the strong signals are usually the ones that work the best, in my opinion, you know, with their new Market Oracle Pro ones. And this is $35 a month, so it's very cheap. But like, look, strong sell signal here. That's the candle that it showed up. For the next 15 minutes, you got nice drops. Again, buy signal here and reversal up. 2 indicators showing up together at once. A nice little bounce. And so again, $35 a month is what this costs. $35 a month. You can check out the link in the description. So it'll give you $35. It's like $35 a month or something like that. So check it out. Great way to help support the channel. Again, it's kind of a busy day for me. I got some stuff going on outside of YouTube today that I got to go get handled and take care of. But again, if you haven't already, guys, hit the sub button, hit the notification bell. Green Day, I'm going to walk away while I'm ahead today, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and walk away. So y'all be safe. Y'all be good. There's a max loss, Rick. You know, there's a max loss. But yeah, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Y'all be safe. Y'all be good. I'll see you guys later.